Most people overlook a simple truth. No one is coming to rescue you. Your life will begin to change only when you decide to put all your energy where it truly belongs, on yourself. Every dream you carry, every target you want to hit, every future you want to experience depends on one thing: how willing you are to focus on you, without distractions, without excuses, without waiting for anyone's approval. You have to turn yourself into someone so strong that no failure can break you and no rejection can stop you. Life rewards people who take command of themselves, not those who complain, not those who stay on the sidelines. The ones who win are the ones who keep their attention on their growth, their vision, their path. Focus on you until you win, because if you don't, nobody else will. Today can be the day you stop searching outside of yourself and start building the life you deserve from the inside out. Stay with me, because this can be the most important shift you ever decide to make. You must give everything you have to building the strongest version of yourself, every single day. You cannot afford to take days off from your own development. Life is not slowing down for anyone. Every day wasted, every moment you let pass without working on yourself stacks up against you. Either you are constructing the life you want, or you are drifting further into a life you never asked for. Most people never truly win because they do not stay focused on themselves long enough. They spend their time watching what others are doing, comparing, getting lost in distraction. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is daily commitment, a promise to get stronger, to grow wiser, to become more disciplined. And this is not something you do here and there when you feel inspired. It is a decision you renew every single day, whether you feel like it or not. Everything begins with a choice. You must choose that you will not let another day slip through your hands. You must choose to work harder on yourself than on anything else in your life. Your strongest self will not appear on its own. Your mind will not sharpen by accident. Your discipline will not fall from the sky. You are responsible. You are the one who has to make it happen. And it often starts small. It begins with 1 hour of reading instead of scrolling without thinking. It starts with one workout instead of one more excuse. It starts by saying no to junk that drains your body and yes to what gives you energy. It begins when you sit in silence and write down real goals for your life. Those small decisions you repeat every day build your strongest self, brick by brick. But you have to stay consistent. You cannot only work on yourself when life feels light and easy. You must keep going when things are heavy, when you feel exhausted, when you are discouraged, when nobody claps for you, when your results are still invisible. That is when the real construction happens. That is when you are laying the foundation for a future that nobody can take away from you. Strength grows in quiet moments. Strength grows in struggle. Strength grows when no one is there to see you. Your strongest self is not built on good intentions but on action. You must be the person who shows up for yourself daily, with no excuses, without blaming, without waiting to feel motivated. Motivation is not coming to save you. You save yourself through consistency. Consistency is the real secret. It is not glamorous. It is not exciting every day, but it is powerful and it always works. Each day you choose yourself, you step closer to your dreams. Every day you focus on your growth, your power grows with it. The results may not show up overnight, but they will come. Life rewards the people who stay locked in when others give up. Life smiles on the ones who bet on themselves even when the odds look impossible. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Are you building yourself or just distracting yourself? Are you pushing forward or letting life push you around? It is a tough question, but answering it truthfully will set you free. If you are not getting stronger, you are getting weaker. If you are not moving, you are falling behind. In this life, there is no such thing as standing still. Growth is not optional, it is required. You must protect your focus like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Focus is your superpower in a world designed to pull your attention away. Every notification, every useless piece of news, every negative voice tries to rob you of your future. You must stand guard at the door of your mind and handpick what is allowed to enter. Your attention is sacred. Where your attention goes, your life goes. When you decide to focus completely on building your strongest self each day, you start to see everything differently. You stop chasing approval. You stop waiting for permission. You stop wasting your time explaining your dreams to people who will never understand them. You no longer feel guilty for wanting more out of life. You stand firm in who you are and in who you are becoming. You have to understand this clearly: no one is coming to build you up. No one is responsible for making you strong. That is your mission, and it is the most important work you will ever do. Respect yourself enough to put in the effort. Trade short-term comfort for long-term strength. Choose growth instead of fitting in. Build a future so solid that you can stand in it with pride, no matter how hard the storm blows. Every morning you open your eyes is another chance to build yourself, another chance to become stronger, another chance to prove to yourself that you are serious about your future. These days are not to be wasted. You cannot treat them like they will go on forever, because they won't. Each day is a brick. Each day is a piece of your foundation. Every day counts. The beautiful thing about focusing on yourself is that when you get better, everything around you improves. Your relationships can deepen, your health can improve, your money situation can get stronger, your confidence can grow. But it all begins with you. It always begins with you. If you focus on yourself until you win, one day you will look back and realize that the real reward was not the victory itself, but the person you became along the way. Your strongest self is waiting for you on the other side of discipline, on the other side of sacrifice, on the other side of consistency. And you already have what it takes. Everything you need is inside you. You do not need greater talent. You do not need someone to come and rescue you. You need a deeper commitment to yourself than you have ever had before. Begin today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Focus completely on building your strongest self today. Then get up tomorrow and do it again. Stack those days. Stack those wins. Watch how your life changes. Watch how your confidence expands. Watch how your strength becomes unbreakable. This is the path to winning. You do not win by wishing. You do not win by luck. You win by focusing on yourself every day, by showing up for yourself no matter what, by refusing to quit when things become difficult. There comes a moment when you realize that blaming the world is not helping you. You can point at your past, your circumstances, your mistakes, but none of that will move you forward. The only thing that truly shifts your life is the decision to take full ownership. When you accept that your growth is in your hands, you stop waiting and start acting. That is the moment your future begins to change. You are not powerless. You are not stuck unless you decide to stay stuck. Every day gives you another chance to rebuild your mindset, your habits, your routine. The question is never whether life is fair. The real question is, what are you doing with what you have right now? Powerful people are not always the ones with the best starting point. They are the ones who refuse to waste the position they are in. You cannot rewrite your past, but you can rewrite the meaning you give it. You can look at your pain and decide it will be your excuse, or you can turn it into your fuel. The same wound that could have broken you can become the reason you finally become unshakable. When you focus on what the experience can teach you instead of what it took from you, you turn losses into lessons and lessons into power. This is why your inner conversation matters so much. The way you speak to yourself can either build you or slowly destroy you. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not enough, that you will never make it, that you are behind everyone else, you are attacking your own potential. But when you speak to yourself with honesty and strength, when you remind yourself that you are capable, that you are learning, that you are improving, you create a mindset that can handle anything. You must learn to be on your own side. The world will already send you criticism, doubt, and resistance. Do not become your own enemy on top of that. Stand with yourself. Encourage yourself. Talk to yourself like someone you are responsible for. You do not have to lie or pretend things are easy. You just have to remind yourself that you are strong enough to face what is hard. This level of inner strength does not appear overnight. It is built in the quiet decisions you make, over and over again. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. It grows when you say you will wake up early and you do. It grows when you say you will work on your goals after a long day and you show up anyway. Each small act of discipline is like a vote for the person you want to become. Your environment plays a huge role in this process. The people you listen to, the content you consume, the conversations you engage in, all of it shapes your mindset. If you are surrounded by negativity, drama, and low standards, it becomes much harder to believe in your own potential. You must be intentional about what you allow around you. Protect your space like it is sacred, because it is. Fill your mind with ideas, stories, and voices that lift you higher. Choose friends who challenge you to grow, not ones who keep you small so they can feel comfortable. Pay attention to how you feel after spending time with someone or after consuming certain content. If it drains you, question it. If it strengthens you, lean into it. Your energy is too valuable to waste on anything that pulls you away from your best self. As you grow, some people will not understand you anymore. They will say you have changed, and they will be right. You are supposed to change when you are committed to becoming stronger, clearer, more disciplined. Do not let their confusion make you doubt your path. You are not living for their approval. You are living for the future you know you can build. You have to be willing to be misunderstood for a while. You have to be ready to walk alone when necessary. Not everyone will see the vision you carry. Not everyone will understand the sacrifices you make. That is okay. Your dreams were given to you, not to them. Your responsibility is to honor them, to nurture them, to do the work required to turn them into reality. There will be days when your progress feels invisible. You will wonder if all the effort is worth it. You will question whether you are actually moving forward. In those moments, remember that growth is often silent. Muscles do not grow while you are staring at them. They grow after the workout, in the recovery. The same is true for your character, your mindset, and your future. Trust the process even when you cannot see the results yet. Trust that every page you read, every workout you complete, every distraction you say no to, every hour you invest in your craft is adding up behind the scenes. Nothing is wasted when you are intentional. The universe has a way of catching up with disciplined people. Momentum always builds for those who refuse to quit. Keep reminding yourself why you started. Remember the version of you who was tired of feeling stuck, tired of repeating the same patterns, tired of watching life go by without fully stepping into it. That version of you made a decision. That decision deserves to be honored. Do not abandon your future just because the present feels uncomfortable. You are capable of more than you think. You have already survived moments you thought would break you. You have already overcome situations you once feared. That same strength is still inside you. Use it. Lean on it. Let it push you to become the strongest version of yourself. Your life will not transform in a single day, but it can shift the moment you decide to stay committed, no matter what. Keep going. Keep choosing discipline over comfort. Keep choosing growth over excuses. Keep choosing your future self over your current limitations. One day, you will look back and realize that this season, the one you are in right now, was the turning point. Not because everything was easy, but because you finally decided to take full responsibility for who you are becoming. There is a powerful shift that happens the day you stop living on autopilot. Many people wake up, go through the same habits, and fall asleep without ever questioning where their actions are taking them. But you are different the moment you pause and ask yourself, is this taking me closer to the life I want or pulling me further away? That single question can change your entire direction. Clarity is the beginning of power. When you are vague about what you want, your actions become weak and scattered. When you get clear about the person you want to become and the life you want to build, your decisions become sharper. You stop saying yes to everything and start choosing only what aligns with your vision. You are no longer just surviving your days, you are using them. Take time to define what your strongest self actually looks like. How do they carry themselves? How do they treat their body? What kind of thoughts do they feed their mind? How do they react when things go wrong? How do they spend their time? When you create that picture clearly, you have a standard you can measure yourself against every single day. This is not about perfection, it is about direction. You will not always hit the standard you set. Some days you will fall short, you will get distracted, you will make mistakes. That does not mean you are failing. It means you are human. The real test is whether you get back up, whether you realign yourself, whether you keep moving toward that vision instead of giving up on it. One of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to start again. Anyone can be disciplined for a day. Many people can be focused for a week. But real strength is shown when you stumble, when you disappear for a while, when you fall into old patterns, and then you choose to return to your path instead of staying lost. Come back to your goals as many times as it takes. Your identity will start to change as you repeatedly act like the person you want to become. At first it feels uncomfortable, almost like you are pretending. You may tell yourself, I am not a disciplined person, I am not confident, I am not consistent. But every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you follow through, you are proving that story wrong. Eventually, your mind will catch up to your actions. You become someone who trains their body regularly, not just someone who wishes they were in shape. You become someone who reads and learns, not just someone who says they value growth. You become someone who protects their time, not just someone who complains about being busy. Identity is not something you are given, it is something you build through repetition. Of course, fear will try to stand in your way. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of wasting your time. Fear will whisper, what if this does not work? What if you embarrass yourself? What if you are not good enough? But there is another question you must learn to ask yourself, what if I never try? What if I stay exactly where I am for the next 5 years? What will that cost me? When you look at it that way, taking action becomes less frightening than staying the same. Doing nothing is also a decision, and it has a price. It costs you your potential. It costs you your confidence. It costs you the chance to discover what you are truly capable of. The discomfort of growth lasts for a while. The regret of never trying can last for a lifetime. You do not need to eliminate fear to move forward. You just need to stop letting it make your decisions. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to move while fear comes along for the ride. You can feel nervous and still speak. You can feel uncertain and still start. You can feel unready and still take the first step. Action is what transforms fear into experience. Every time you do something you once avoided, you send yourself a powerful message, I can handle this. I can show up even when I am uncomfortable. I can walk into the unknown and figure things out. With each step, fear loses a bit of its grip, and your belief in yourself grows stronger. Another trap that steals your power is waiting for the perfect moment. You tell yourself you will start when you have more time, when you feel more confident, when life calms down. But perfect conditions almost never arrive. If you wait for everything to align, you may spend your entire life preparing and never actually beginning. Progress loves imperfect action. Start with what you have, where you are, right now. If you only have 30 minutes, use those 30 minutes. If you only know the first step, take that first step. If your plan is not perfect, execute it anyway and improve it as you go. Momentum is built through movement, not through sitting and thinking about moving. You will be surprised by what happens when you commit to small, consistent actions. 10 minutes of focused effort every day will beat 2 hours of effort once a month. A simple routine you stick to will always outperform a complex plan you abandon. Consistency turns tiny steps into massive change over time. Remember, the goal is not to impress anyone, the goal is to transform yourself. You are not doing this to prove something to strangers. You are doing this because you refuse to live below your potential. You are doing this because you want to look back one day and know you gave your future everything you had. There will be moments along the journey when you catch yourself thinking, maybe I am not built for this. When that thought shows up, answer it with evidence. Remind yourself of the challenges you have already survived. Think of the days you wanted to quit but did not. Think of the things that once scared you that now feel normal. That is proof that you are capable of evolving. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago, or even 1 year ago. You have already changed. You have already grown. Let that remind you that more growth is possible, that more strength is available, that more is waiting on the other side of your effort. You are a work in progress, not a finished story. Every day is another page. Every decision is another sentence. Every action is another line. Write something you will be proud to read later. Show up for yourself in a way that your future self will thank you for. The more you do this, the more natural it will feel to prioritize your growth. Keep bringing your focus back to the same simple truth: your life is shaped by what you repeatedly do. Not by what you intend, not by what you post, not by what you talk about, but by what you actually practice. Practice discipline. Practice courage. Practice patience. Practice belief in yourself, especially on the days it is hardest. Bit by bit, you will notice the shift. You will carry yourself differently. You will think differently. You will respond to challenges differently. And other people may notice it too, but the real victory is how you feel about yourself. That inner respect, that quiet confidence, is one of the greatest rewards of this path. There is another reality you need to accept if you want to build a different life. No one can do the inner work for you. People can encourage you, they can give you tools, they can offer you opportunities, but at the end of the day, you are the one who has to sit with your own thoughts, your own habits, your own decisions. That is where real transformation begins, in the moments no one else sees. When the noise of the world quiets down and it is just you and your mind, that is when the truth appears. You start to notice the patterns you repeat, the excuses you lean on, the stories you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Do not run away from that awareness. Use it. Look at it clearly. It is not there to shame you, it is there to guide you toward what needs to change. Honesty with yourself is a form of strength. It takes courage to say, I have been wasting time. I have been letting fear control my choices. I have been talking about change more than actually changing. But the moment you admit that truth, you reclaim your power. You cannot improve what you pretend is not broken. You cannot grow beyond what you refuse to look at. Ask yourself simple but powerful questions. What habits are keeping me stuck? What thoughts keep looping in my mind and making me feel small? What actions am I avoiding because they scare me? Write your answers down. Be specific. Clarity gives you something real to work with. Vague discomfort keeps you trapped, but clear awareness opens the door to real progress. From there, you begin to design your days with intention. Instead of letting your mood decide what you do, you let your priorities decide. You place your most important actions first, not last. You stop waiting to feel ready and start acting like someone who respects their own time. Your calendar becomes a reflection of your values, not just a collection of random tasks and distractions. This might mean changing how you start your mornings. Instead of reaching for your phone and drowning in everyone else's life, you start by checking in with your own. You might spend a few minutes in silence, thinking about who you want to be today. You might move your body, stretch, breathe deeply, or write down 3 key actions you will commit to. These small rituals signal to your mind that you are in charge. Throughout the day, you practice catching yourself when you slip into autopilot. When you notice you are mindlessly scrolling, you pause and ask, is this helping me become who I want to be? When you feel yourself reaching for comfort instead of progress, you take a breath and remind yourself of your bigger vision. You are training your mind to choose long-term growth over short-term relief. This will not feel natural at first. Your old habits will try to pull you back because they are familiar and easy. Your mind loves what it already knows, even if it is hurting you. That is why you must be patient, but firm, with yourself. Change is not instant. It is a gradual rewiring of your choices, your reactions, your expectations. The more you repeat the new pattern, the stronger it becomes. There will be moments when you feel tired of being disciplined. You will want a break from always being aware, always pushing forward, always making the harder choice. When that happens, instead of giving up completely, give yourself a controlled pause. Take a walk, rest, breathe, but do not abandon your standards. A break is not the same as going back to your old life. Rest so you can return stronger. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself is to set clear boundaries. Boundaries with your time. Boundaries with your energy. Boundaries with people who drain you. It is not selfish to protect your focus, it is necessary. When you say yes to everything, you quietly say no to your own growth. Learn to say no without guilt when something does not align with the person you are becoming. Some people will not like your boundaries. They were comfortable with the version of you who always said yes, who was always available, who always put their needs ahead of your own. When you begin to change that, they may call you distant, selfish, or different. Remember, you are allowed to change. You are allowed to choose a life that supports your mental, emotional, and physical strength. At the same time, surround yourself with people who respect your growth. People who understand that you may not always have time to entertain distractions because you are building something meaningful. People who celebrate your progress instead of mocking your discipline. These connections are rare but powerful. They remind you that you are not alone in choosing a higher standard for your life. Another important shift is learning to separate your identity from your mistakes. You will mess up. You will skip days. You will let emotions win sometimes. That does not mean you are weak or broken. It means you are human. Do not use one bad day as evidence that you will never change. Use it as feedback. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I handle this situation better next time? Growth is not a straight line. It is a series of rises and falls, steps forward and steps back, but each time you return to your path, you do so with more wisdom. You start to recognize your triggers sooner. You catch yourself before you spiral as deeply. You shorten the time between falling and standing back up. That is what progress actually looks like. Celebrate the small victories along the way. The day you wake up on time even when you wanted to stay in bed. The moment you choose to read instead of scroll. The workout you complete even though you felt tired. The honest conversation you have with yourself instead of burying your feelings. These moments may seem small, but together they form the foundation of a stronger you. As this new version of you grows, something powerful happens inside. You begin to trust yourself. You believe your own word again. When you say you will do something, you know you are going to follow through. That inner trust creates a quiet confidence that no one can give you and no one can take away. It is earned, slowly, through repeated action. This is why your commitment to Momentum Audiobooks matters so much. It is not just about productivity or success on the outside. It is about who you are becoming on the inside. Every goal you set, every habit you build, every distraction you remove is shaping your character. You are not just chasing results, you are building a life that reflects your deepest values. Keep reminding yourself of this when the work feels heavy. You are not doing this for a quick fix. You are laying the groundwork for a future where you can stand tall, knowing you did not settle. You chose growth when comfort called your name. You chose honesty when denial would have been easier. You chose discipline when excuses were right there within reach. Stay on this path. Keep showing up. Keep refining your habits, your environment, your mindset. The outside world may not see every step you take, but you will feel the difference inside. And in time, that inner transformation will shape everything around you. This is how real, lasting change happens, one honest decision at a time. There will come a time when you realize that the standards you accept for yourself are shaping every area of your life. The way you treat your body, the way you manage your time, the way you handle your emotions, all of it is sending a message to your own mind about what you believe you deserve. When you raise your standards, everything around you is forced to adjust. Sometimes this means admitting that you have been settling. Settling for low energy. Settling for constant distraction. Settling for relationships that drain you more than they support you. Settling for goals that do not really excite you. It is uncomfortable to face this, but that discomfort is a signal. It is your deeper self telling you that you are meant for more than the life you have been tolerating. Raising your standards does not mean chasing a perfect life. It means refusing to keep living in a way that you know is beneath your potential. It means deciding that certain things are no longer acceptable. You no longer accept talking to yourself with disrespect. You no longer accept habits that destroy your focus. You no longer accept spending your days on things that do not move you forward. One powerful way to raise your standards is to upgrade the questions you ask yourself every day. Instead of asking, "How can I get through today?" ask, "How can I get better today?" Instead of asking, "How can I avoid discomfort?" ask, "How can I grow from this?" Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Better questions lead to better actions, and better actions lead to a better life. Your standards also show up in how you handle your promises to yourself. It is easy to keep commitments when you feel motivated and energized. The real test is what you do when the excitement has faded. Do you still show up for your workout when you are tired? Do you still focus on your craft when no one is watching? Do you still protect your time when distractions are calling your name? That is where your true standard lies. Think about the person you respect most. Maybe it is someone you know personally, maybe it is someone you have only read about. What do you respect them for? It is rarely their comfort. It is rarely the times when everything was easy. You respect their discipline, their resilience, their consistency, their courage to keep going. You admire the way they held themselves to a high standard even when no one else demanded it of them. Now understand this: you are capable of being that person for yourself. You can become someone you deeply respect. You can become the kind of person whose word means something, whose actions match their values, whose life reflects their priorities. This is not reserved for a special few. It is available to anyone who is willing to do the work, and that includes you. To move in that direction, start by choosing one area of your life to upgrade. It might be your morning routine, your sleep, your nutrition, your training, your studying, your finances, or your focus. Do not try to change everything at once. Choose one area and say to yourself, "From today on, this part of my life will be handled at a higher standard." Then define what that higher standard looks like in simple, clear actions. Maybe it means going to bed at a consistent time. Maybe it means putting your phone in another room while you work. Maybe it means preparing your meals instead of relying on whatever is convenient. Maybe it means setting a fixed time each day to invest in your most important skill. Small, clear actions are the building blocks of big change. You will notice resistance as soon as you start. Your mind will tell you that this new standard is too much, that you do not have time, that you are fine the way you are. Recognize that voice, but do not obey it. That voice is the keeper of your comfort zone. It is trying to protect what is familiar, not what is best for you. Thank it if you want, but move forward anyway. As you stay consistent with your new standard, something subtle but powerful starts to shift. You begin to see yourself differently. You no longer see yourself as someone who always struggles to follow through. You start to view yourself as someone who can be trusted, someone who does what they said they would do. That change in identity fuels even more action. Progress creates belief, and belief creates more progress. At this point, momentum becomes your ally. The same way that negative habits can spiral downward, positive habits can create an upward spiral. One good decision leads to another. One strong day leads to a stronger week. 1 month of consistent effort makes it hard to imagine going back to the way things were. This is what Momentum Audiobooks is all about, stacking small wins until they reshape your entire life. But even with momentum on your side, you must stay alert. Old patterns do not disappear overnight. They wait for moments of weakness, moments of stress, moments when you are tired or overwhelmed. That is why it is so important to have simple rules for yourself. Rules like, I do not negotiate my workout. I do not scroll before I finish my priority task. I do not speak to myself with disrespect. These rules protect you when your willpower is low. Another key part of raising your standards is improving the way you handle setbacks. Many people use a mistake as evidence that they are a failure. They miss one workout and then give up for the week. They break one promise to themselves and then stop making any promises at all. This all-or-nothing mentality destroys progress. A higher standard says, I slipped, but I am getting back on track right now. When you adopt this mindset, setbacks lose their power over you. A bad day becomes just that, a bad day, not a bad life. You learn from what happened, you adjust your strategy if needed, and you move on. The faster you recover from a setback, the stronger you become. Resilience is not never falling, it is refusing to stay on the ground. You will also need to raise your standards in how you allow others to treat you. If you constantly tolerate disrespect, unreliability, or negativity, it wears down your energy and your confidence. You do not have to accept every invitation. You do not have to remain in every conversation. You do not have to keep every connection. Protecting your peace is part of protecting your progress. This does not mean you become cold or uncaring. It means you recognize that your time and energy are precious resources. When you invest them wisely, you become more capable of helping and supporting others from a place of strength instead of exhaustion. The stronger you are, the more you can give. But you cannot pour from an empty cup. Think of your life as a structure you are building. Every decision is like placing a brick. Some bricks are strong, some are weak. Some add stability, others create cracks. The more intentional you are with each brick, the more solid your structure becomes. In time, you build something you can rely on, something you can be proud of, something that can weather storms. This is the deeper meaning of raising your standards. It is not about chasing perfection or comparing yourself to others. It is about building a foundation inside yourself that cannot be easily shaken. It is about becoming someone you trust, someone you respect, someone your future self will thank. Keep going. Keep asking more from yourself, not in a way that crushes you, but in a way that calls you forward. Keep lifting your standards one decision at a time. Keep remembering that every choice is a vote for the person you want to become. With each vote, that person becomes less of a vision and more of your reality. There is a point in your journey where you must decide what kind of life you are actually building. Not the life you talk about when you are inspired, but the life you create through your daily actions. Every choice you make is a silent vote. A vote for strength or for weakness. A vote for clarity or for confusion. A vote for your future or for your comfort in the moment. When you really understand this, you stop treating your days like they are disposable. You stop saying, it is just one more day of skipping my goals, it is just one more hour of scrolling, it is just one more excuse. You realize that nothing is ever just one more. It is always part of a pattern. And patterns, not promises, are what shape your destiny. Look at your normal day with honest eyes. From the moment you wake up to the moment you lie down, what are you practicing? Are you practicing discipline or delay? Are you practicing courage or avoidance? Are you practicing focus or distraction? You become what you practice repeatedly, whether you are aware of it or not. This is why it is so important to simplify your life around what truly matters. You do not need a crowded schedule to feel valuable. You need a meaningful direction. Many people stay busy all day and still feel empty, because their energy is scattered in 100 directions that do not truly matter to them. Busyness is not the same as progress. Start asking yourself a simple question before you say yes to anything: does this support the person I want to become? If the answer is no, be brave enough to say no, even if it disappoints others. Your time is a limited resource. Every minute you give to something meaningless is a minute taken away from your growth, your health, your peace, your future. This level of clarity might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you are used to living on autopilot. You may feel guilty for putting your priorities first. You may feel selfish for saying no. But remember, you cannot live your life by everyone else's expectations and still be true to yourself. At some point, you must decide whose approval matters most, theirs or your own. As you begin to honor your own priorities, you will notice how much energy returns to you. When you stop saying yes out of habit, you create space for the things that actually move you forward. Time to train your body. Time to learn new skills. Time to work on that project you keep postponing. Time to sit in silence and think clearly. This is how you start building a life that feels like it belongs to you. Money is another area where your standards and your focus are tested. Many people feel controlled by money their entire lives, always chasing it, always stressed about it, always limited by it. But money, like anything else, responds to habits. The way you earn it, the way you manage it, the way you think about it, all of it can either keep you stuck or help you rise. You do not need to obsess over money, but you do need to respect it. Respect means being honest about your spending. Respect means learning skills that increase your value. Respect means avoiding the trap of buying things just to impress people who do not even know you. Financial strength is not only about how much you make, but about how wisely you handle what you have. A powerful mindset shift is to see money as a tool, not as your master. When you focus on becoming more skilled, more reliable, more creative, more disciplined, you naturally increase the value you bring to the world. Over time, that value tends to be rewarded. But even before the external rewards arrive, you are already winning because you are becoming a stronger person. This is where patience enters the picture. Growth in any area, whether it is your body, your career, your mindset, or your finances, takes time. We live in a world obsessed with speed, quick results, and overnight success, but real change rarely works like that. It grows slowly, under the surface, through repetition and patience. Think of a seed. For a long time after it is planted, nothing seems to happen. The soil looks the same. If you did not know better, you might think nothing is going on. But under the surface, roots are being formed, structure is being built, strength is developing. Only after that hidden work is complete does something finally break through the ground. Your growth works the same way. There will be seasons in your life where it feels like you are putting in effort and nothing is changing. You are showing up, you are learning, you are improving, but the results are not obvious yet. These are the moments when most people give up. They assume the work is not working. They decide that because they cannot see progress, there is no progress. Do not fall into that trap. Trust the process you are committed to. Trust the hours you are investing. Trust the new habits you are building. Just because the results are not visible yet does not mean they are not on their way. Your job is to keep planting, keep watering, keep showing up. Time will take care of the harvest if you remain consistent. This is why Momentum Audiobooks is centered on daily action, not on dramatic gestures. A single intense effort can feel exciting, but a quiet, repeated effort is what changes you. Reading 10 pages every day will impact you more than reading 100 pages once a month. Training 3 times a week consistently will do more for your body than training hard for a week and then quitting for a month. Consistency requires you to release the need to be perfect. You will have bad days. You will have low energy. You will have times when you feel uninspired. The key is to do something anyway, even if it is small. On your lowest days, your goal is not to be impressive, your goal is to maintain the habit. Show up, even at 50%. Progress is often hidden inside those imperfect days. Over time, this approach builds a kind of quiet power inside you. You begin to see yourself as someone who can handle difficulty, someone who does not break at the first sign of resistance, someone who stays when others walk away. That inner strength is worth more than any external reward, because it stays with you no matter what happens outside of you. As your inner strength grows, you will naturally start to dream bigger. Ideas that once felt impossible will start to feel reachable. Goals that once intimidated you will begin to look like logical next steps. This does not mean you lose your sense of gratitude for where you are. It means you stop underestimating what you are capable of becoming. When these bigger visions appear, do not run from them. Write them down. Break them into smaller, practical steps. Maybe it means learning a new skill, starting a side project, improving your health, or moving to a different environment. Whatever it is, bring it out of your mind and into a plan. Dreams without action become regret. Dreams with action become blueprints. Remember that you do not need everyone to believe in your vision. You are not asking for permission. You are giving yourself a direction. Some people will not understand why you are changing your habits, protecting your time, educating yourself, or training your body. That is okay. They do not have to understand it. They are not the ones who will live the consequences of your choices. You are. So keep going. Keep your days aligned with your deepest priorities. Keep your habits aligned with your highest standards. Keep your thoughts aligned with your strongest self. One day, you will look around and realize that the life you are living is no longer a distant dream. It is the natural result of the person you chose to become, one decision at a time. There is a kind of strength that does not come from loud achievements or public recognition. It comes from the quiet decision to keep working on yourself when no one is watching. In a world where everyone seems to be performing their life for others to see, choosing to build yourself in private is a rare and powerful move. You are not doing it for applause. You are doing it because you refuse to waste your potential. One of the biggest traps you must avoid is constant comparison. When you spend your days measuring your progress against someone else's highlight reel, you will always feel behind. You see their successes, their results, their confidence, but you do not see their doubts, their failures, their sacrifices. You are comparing your behind the scenes to their best moments. That is never a fair comparison. Your real competition is not the person on your screen. It is the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself each day, am I thinking a little clearer than I was before? Am I treating my body with more respect? Am I managing my time with more intention? Am I showing more courage in the face of fear? When you focus on beating your own previous version, you always have a clear and honest target. Social media can be a tool or a trap. It can inspire you, teach you, and connect you with people on the same path. But it can also drain your focus, lower your self-esteem, and fill your mind with noise. You must decide which role it will play in your life. If it is pulling you away from your vision more than it is supporting it, you have to take control back. This might mean limiting your usage. It might mean unfollowing accounts that trigger envy, comparison, or distraction. It might mean dedicating certain hours of the day as no-scroll zones, times when your mind belongs completely to your goals. Remember, your attention is your most valuable currency. Spend it on things that make you stronger, not weaker. Your body is one of your greatest allies on this journey, and it deserves your respect. The way you move it, fuel it, and rest it has a direct impact on your mental strength. When your body feels heavy, tired, or neglected, your mind struggles too. But when you train your body, even in simple ways, you send yourself a powerful message: I am worth taking care of. You do not need an extreme routine to start. You can begin with walks, stretching, basic exercises, or any form of movement that challenges you a little. The goal is not perfection, it is consistency. Every time you move when you could have stayed still, you are strengthening your discipline. Every time you choose real food over empty comfort, you are proving that your long-term health matters more than a moment of pleasure. Sleep is another form of self-respect that many people ignore. Staying up too late, scrolling endlessly, pushing your body beyond its limits, all of it feels normal until the bill arrives in the form of low energy, bad mood, and weak focus. When you start guarding your sleep like something sacred, everything else becomes easier. Discipline is easier. Clarity is easier. Training is easier. Your emotions also need your attention, not your denial. Many people try to outrun their feelings by staying busy, but unresolved emotions do not disappear. They show up as anger, anxiety, numbness, or self-sabotage. True strength is not pretending you do not feel anything. True strength is being willing to sit with what you feel, understand it, and still choose actions that support your future. If you feel afraid, admit it to yourself and move forward anyway. If you feel sad, give yourself time to process and still protect your habits. If you feel unmotivated, acknowledge it and take one small action regardless. Your emotions are signals, not commands. You can listen to them without letting them drive your entire life. Relationships play a huge role in your growth. The people you allow close to you will either push you higher or pull you down. It does not mean you cut everyone off, but it does mean you become honest about how each connection affects you. After spending time with someone, do you feel lighter or heavier? More focused or more confused? More hopeful or more drained? Your body often tells you the truth before your mind does. Surround yourself with people who want to see you win, who challenge you to rise, who are also working on themselves. Even if you only have one or two of these people, they are priceless. If you cannot find them yet, become that person for yourself. Become your own biggest supporter, your own coach, your own reminder that you are capable of more. There will be times when you feel deeply alone on this path. You will look around and notice that not everyone cares about growth, discipline, or vision the way you do. They might be satisfied with complaining, blaming, or staying stuck. In those moments, remember that you are not strange for wanting more. You are awake in a world that often prefers sleep. Use that feeling of being different as fuel, not as a reason to shrink. You are not here to blend in with a life that does not fit you. You are here to build something honest, something aligned, something that reflects your deepest values. That takes courage. That takes patience. That takes a willingness to walk your own path even when it feels lonely. Legacy is not something that begins when you are old. It begins right now, in the way you treat people, the way you treat yourself, the way you show up each day. When people think of you, what do you want to come to their mind? Someone who constantly complained, or someone who kept moving? Someone who played small, or someone who walked with quiet strength? Someone who gave up easily, or someone who kept going no matter what? Legacy is built in small acts. The way you listen when someone is speaking. The way you follow through on your word. The way you handle pressure. The way you keep your heart open even after you have been hurt. None of these moments go to waste. They are all part of the story you are writing about who you are. At the same time, do not forget the importance of joy. Growth is not meant to feel like punishment. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it requires sacrifice. But it should also include moments that make you feel alive. Laugh with people you love. Enjoy the progress you make. Celebrate small wins. Appreciate the simple things, like a calm morning, a strong workout, a clear mind. Joy is not a distraction from growth, it is fuel for it. As you continue on this journey, regularly pause and ask yourself, is the life I am building aligned with the person I want to be? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, adjust. You are not locked into your past choices. You are free to change direction whenever you choose. That freedom is one of your greatest gifts. Remember, Momentum Audiobooks is not about being perfect every single day. It is about refusing to give up on yourself. It is about stacking honest decisions, honest effort, and honest reflection until your life begins to mirror your deepest values. It is about knowing that even on your hardest days, you are still moving, still learning, still becoming stronger. Keep your heart in the process. Keep your mind clear. Keep your body active. Keep your standards high. And keep reminding yourself that you are not doing this just to reach a destination. You are doing this to grow into the kind of person who can handle whatever comes next with courage, clarity, and unshakable inner strength. There is a moment on every serious journey when you realize that the real battle is not outside, it is inside. The obstacles in the world are real, but the way you respond to them is decided in your mind long before you ever face them. That is why mastering your inner world is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. When your mind is steady, life cannot easily shake you. Your thoughts are not harmless background noise. They are instructions. If, day after day, you tell yourself that you are not good enough, that you always fail, that nothing ever works out for you, your actions will begin to follow those instructions. You will move with less energy, less courage, less belief. But when you choose thoughts that are honest and empowering, your entire behavior shifts. This does not mean lying to yourself or pretending everything is perfect. It means training your mind to focus on what you can do instead of what you cannot. Instead of thinking, I always mess things up, you learn to say, I am still learning, and I am improving every day. Instead of thinking, this is impossible, you say, I do not know how yet, but I am willing to figure it out. That small change in language creates a massive change in direction. Pay attention to the way you speak to yourself when you are under pressure. It is easy to be positive when everything is going well. The real test is how you talk to yourself when you are tired, when you make a mistake, when you feel behind. Do you attack yourself, or do you support yourself? Do you add more weight to your mind, or do you give yourself the strength to keep going? You can start shifting your inner language today. When you catch yourself thinking in a way that makes you weaker, pause and correct it. If the thought is, I cannot handle this, change it to, this is hard, but I can handle hard things. If the thought is, I am too far behind, change it to, I am not where I want to be yet, but every step I take moves me closer. This is not fake positivity, it is disciplined thinking. Over time, these small corrections build a stronger inner voice. You become someone who can be honest about challenges without collapsing under them. You look at problems clearly, but you also look at your own power clearly. You stop underestimating yourself. You stop assuming the worst. You begin to expect that with focus, effort, and time, you can grow through what you are facing. Mental strength is not about never feeling doubt. It is about not letting doubt be the final voice in your mind. You let it speak, you listen, and then you choose a higher perspective. You remember the times you made it through difficulty before. You remember that you are more capable than your fear wants you to believe. And then you act based on that remembrance, not based on your temporary emotions. Another powerful habit is directing your attention on purpose at the start and end of each day. Your mornings and nights are like mental gateways. If you fill them with noise, fear, and distraction, your mind becomes scattered. But if you use them wisely, they become anchors that keep you steady no matter what happens in the middle of the day. In the morning, instead of starting with chaos, start with intention. You might take a few minutes to breathe deeply and ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? You might visualize yourself handling challenges with calm and strength. You might write down 3 things you are grateful for and 3 actions that matter most. These simple practices calm your mind and aim it in the right direction. At night, give yourself space to disconnect from the constant noise. Put your phone away for a while. Reflect on your day without judgment. Ask yourself, where did I act in alignment with my best self today? Where can I improve tomorrow? Celebrate even the smallest wins, like keeping a promise to yourself or choosing discipline in a tiny moment. Your mind learns from what you highlight. If you only focus on what went wrong, you train yourself to feel defeated. If you also notice what you did well, you train yourself to feel capable. Your environment plays a huge role in your inner world too. The sounds, images, and words you are surrounded by all day slowly shape how you think. If you constantly hear negativity, drama, and complaints, your mind will start to mirror that. If you fill your environment with learning, inspiration, and clarity, your thinking becomes sharper and more hopeful. Take a look at your surroundings. The music you listen to. The shows you watch. The conversations you have. The rooms you spend time in. Ask yourself, is this helping my mind stay strong or making it weaker? You do not need a perfect environment, but you can make small upgrades. Clean your space. Add reminders of your goals. Spend less time in places that drain you and more time in places that lift you. One of the most underrated skills you can practice is single focus. Doing one thing at a time with your full presence is becoming rare, but it is a superpower. When you are always multitasking, your mind never settles. You feel busy but not productive. You feel tired but not fulfilled. Single focus brings your power back into the present moment. When you are training, be fully in the training. When you are reading, be fully in the reading. When you are working, be fully in the work. Turn off notifications when possible. Put your phone away for blocks of time. Tell your mind, right now, this is all that matters. You will be surprised how much more you can accomplish and how much calmer you feel when you give one thing your full attention. As your mental discipline grows, you will notice that stress still shows up, but it does not control you the same way. You begin to respond instead of react. Something goes wrong, and instead of panicking, you pause, breathe, and ask, what is the next best step I can take? You still feel emotion, but you are not drowning in it. You know how to ground yourself. Grounding can be simple. It can be as basic as feeling your feet on the floor and taking a slow breath. It can be looking around the room and naming 5 things you see. It can be writing down everything that worries you and then choosing one thing to address today. These tiny tools keep your mind from spiraling. They remind you that you are here, in this moment, and that you have power here. Momentum Audiobooks is built on this idea of steady inner strength. Not dramatic motivation that fades in a day, but calm, repeatable practices that make you stronger from the inside out. When you combine mental discipline with physical effort, consistent habits, and clear priorities, you become very hard to stop. Life can still hit you, but it cannot easily break you. You will still have days when your mind feels noisy, when doubt feels loud, when nothing seems to work. On those days, your job is not to feel amazing. Your job is to protect your minimums. Maybe you cannot do the perfect workout, but you can move your body for 10 minutes. Maybe you cannot read for an hour, but you can read 2 pages. Maybe you cannot plan your whole week, but you can choose one important task and complete it. By protecting these minimum standards, you keep your momentum alive. You tell your mind, even on my worst days, I do not abandon myself. That builds enormous trust. And little by little, that trust becomes confidence. You no longer fear tough seasons as much, because you know you have systems and habits that will carry you even when motivation disappears. Remember this: whenever you feel overwhelmed, you do not have to control everything in your life, you just have to control your next decision. You do not have to know every step, you just have to take the step in front of you. You do not have to silence every negative thought, you just have to choose not to build your life around it. Your inner world will never be perfect, and that is okay. You are not aiming for a mind that never feels fear or doubt. You are aiming for a mind that knows how to keep moving anyway. A mind that can feel discomfort and still choose discipline. A mind that can feel uncertainty and still choose action. A mind that is loyal to your long-term vision, not your temporary feelings. Keep training that mind the same way you would train a muscle. With repetition, patience, and care. Feed it with better thoughts. Challenge it with better questions. Calm it with better habits. And over time, you will notice that the life you are building on the outside is simply a reflection of the strength you have been building on the inside, one thought, one choice, and one focused day at a time. Up to this point, we have explored many inner skills: knowing yourself, regulating your emotions, understanding others, communicating clearly, building confidence, nurturing healthy relationships, and developing resilience. Now it is time to look at how all these elements come together in your everyday life and shape the person you are becoming. Emotional intelligence is not a separate activity that you practice only in special moments. It is a thread that weaves through everything you do. It influences how you start your day, how you respond to unexpected events, how you treat the people around you, and how you speak to yourself when no one else is listening. Little by little, it becomes part of your identity. Imagine a typical day lived with emotional awareness. You wake up and, instead of immediately diving into messages or worries, you take a brief moment to notice how you feel. Maybe you are rested, maybe you are tense, maybe you are sad for reasons you do not fully understand. Whatever is there, you acknowledge it without judging yourself. This simple act of checking in sets a different tone. You are not running away from your inner world. You are meeting it with presence. As the day unfolds, situations arise that would once have triggered automatic reactions. A colleague sends a curt email. Traffic is worse than usual. A loved one seems distant or distracted. In the past, you might have instantly reacted with anger, anxiety, or withdrawal. Now, however, you are learning to pause. You notice your first impulse, you name what you feel, and you choose your response with more intention. Sometimes that response is a calm message, sometimes it is taking a short break to breathe, sometimes it is starting an honest conversation. You will not respond perfectly every time, and that is not the goal. The real change is that you are no longer entirely on autopilot. Even when you slip into old patterns, you are able to recognize it sooner, reflect on what happened, and adjust for the future. This flexible, forgiving attitude towards yourself is one of the clearest signs that your emotional intelligence is growing. Your inner dialogue also continues to transform. Instead of constantly criticizing yourself, you begin to cultivate a more balanced inner voice. When you succeed at something, you allow yourself to feel proud, even if the achievement seems small. When you struggle or make a mistake, you offer yourself understanding and encouragement instead of insults. Over time, this kinder way of speaking to yourself creates a deeper sense of safety inside you. You no longer need to prove your worth in every situation, because you know it does not depend on perfection. As your relationship with yourself becomes more stable, your external life gradually reflects this change. You may notice that some opportunities that once felt intimidating now seem within reach. You apply for a position that fits your abilities, you propose a project you care about, or you share your ideas more freely in meetings and collaborations. Even when the outcome is uncertain, you are willing to try because your sense of value is not completely tied to success or failure. Creativity often flourishes in this kind of emotional climate. When you are less busy defending yourself or hiding, you have more energy available for exploring, inventing, and expressing. New interests may emerge, or old passions may regain their strength. You might feel drawn to write, draw, learn a new skill, or experiment with ideas that previously felt too risky. Emotional intelligence does not only help you cope with problems. It also opens space for joy, curiosity, and growth. Your presence in the lives of others also changes. Friends, colleagues, and family members may start to notice that you listen more deeply, that you handle conflict with more calm, and that you are able to speak honestly without attacking. Some might even tell you that they feel more comfortable around you, or that your way of handling things inspires them. You become a quiet example of what it looks like to live with both courage and sensitivity. Of course, not everyone will respond in the same way. Some people may be surprised or even uncomfortable with your new boundaries, your clearer communication, or your growing self-respect. They might prefer the old version of you who always adapted, stayed silent, or took responsibility for everything. In those moments, emotional intelligence helps you stay grounded. You can listen to their reactions without automatically going back to old patterns. You can remind yourself that your growth is valid, even if not everyone understands it immediately. As you keep walking this path, it can be helpful to take time regularly to review your progress. You might look back over the last few months and ask yourself, what has changed in how I handle my emotions, what is different in how I relate to others, where do I see small but real improvements. Keeping a journal or reflecting in a quiet moment can help you see the steps you have taken that are easy to overlook in daily life. You may also want to set new intentions from time to time. Perhaps you decide that in the coming weeks you will focus on being more patient with yourself, or on practicing active listening more consistently, or on gently facing one specific fear that has been holding you back. These intentions do not have to be dramatic. What matters is that they keep you moving forward in a direction that feels meaningful to you. Remember that your journey is unique. It cannot be compared directly to anyone else's path. Some people will make rapid visible changes, while for others the transformation will be slower and more subtle. Both rhythms are valid. Emotional intelligence is not a race. It is a lifelong practice of becoming more aware, more honest, and more compassionate with yourself and with others. In the bigger picture, as more individuals develop these skills, the impact goes beyond personal well-being. Families, workplaces, communities, and even larger systems can shift when people interact with greater empathy, clarity, and responsibility. By doing your inner work, you are not only improving your own life. You are also contributing, in your own way, to a more understanding and humane world. As you listen to this part of the audiobook, take a moment to honor the effort you have already invested. You chose to reflect on yourself, to question old beliefs, and to experiment with new behaviors. These are not easy tasks. They require courage and perseverance. Even if you sometimes feel like you are moving slowly, you are still moving, and that movement matters. In the final part of this journey, we will bring together the main ideas you have explored so far and look at how you can continue to grow long after this audiobook ends. For now, let these words be a reminder that emotional intelligence is not something outside of you that you have to earn. It is a capacity that has always been inside you, waiting to be recognized, nurtured, and expressed more fully in everything you do. We have reached the final part of this journey together. By now, you have traveled through many important themes. You have learned to look within, to recognize and manage your emotions, to understand others more deeply, to communicate with clarity, to build confidence, to cultivate healthy relationships, and to develop resilience in the face of life's challenges. This is not a small achievement. It represents a profound investment in your growth as a person. As we close this audiobook, it is important to remember one central idea. Emotional intelligence is not a destination you arrive at once and for all. It is a living process, something that develops and transforms as you move through different seasons of life. There will be times when you feel strong, balanced, and in tune with yourself and with others. There will also be moments when old fears resurface, when you feel lost, or when you react in ways you thought you had left behind. None of this means you have failed. It simply means you are human and still learning. The tools and perspectives you have discovered here are like a backpack you can carry with you. Inside it, you have practices for self-awareness, methods for emotional regulation, ways to cultivate empathy, strategies for clear communication, and ideas for building confidence and resilience. You will not use all of them every day. Some will be more useful at certain times than others. What matters is that you know they are there, available whenever you need them. Take a moment now to reflect on what has resonated with you the most. Maybe you were particularly struck by the idea of speaking to yourself with kindness instead of harsh criticism. Maybe the practice of pausing to breathe before reacting has already changed some of your conversations. Perhaps the sections on boundaries, social confidence, or resilience opened a new perspective on situations you are currently facing. Whatever stood out to you, that is a sign of where your growth is most active right now. You do not need to remember every sentence from this audiobook. Instead, choose a few key ideas or practices that feel especially relevant to your life at this moment. You might decide, for example, to pay more attention to your emotions as they arise, to listen more deeply in conversations, or to gently challenge one limiting belief that has been holding you back. Small, consistent actions guided by your values will take you much further than a long list of theories that you never apply. It can be helpful to write down a simple personal commitment inspired by what you have learned. This commitment does not have to be dramatic or complicated. It might be something like I commit to treating myself more kindly when I make mistakes, or I commit to practicing active listening with the people I care about, or I commit to taking one small step each week that strengthens my social confidence. Put this sentence somewhere you can see it, and let it remind you of the direction you have chosen. Another important step is to accept that growth is rarely linear. You may experience periods of quick progress followed by plateaus or setbacks. On some days, you will surprise yourself with your ability to stay calm and present. On other days, you might feel as if you have gone backwards. When that happens, do not erase all the progress you have made. Instead, look at the situation with curiosity. Ask yourself, what triggered me, what did I need in that moment, what can I learn from this for next time? This attitude of gentle investigation will keep your development moving, even when things feel difficult. Remember too that emotional intelligence is not about becoming perfect or pleasing everyone. As you grow, some people will appreciate your changes, while others may feel unsettled by them. You might become less available for dynamics that exhaust you, more honest about what you feel, and more selective about where you invest your time and energy. This is a natural part of becoming more aligned with your true self. It may require courage, but it also creates space for more authentic, respectful, and fulfilling connections. You may find it useful to revisit this audiobook in the future. Each time you listen, you will be in a different place in your life, with new experiences and new questions. The same chapter that felt theoretical today might speak to you very directly a few months from now. Do not hesitate to return to specific sections when you need them, whether you are struggling with a difficult emotion, trying to handle a conflict, or simply wanting to reconnect with your long-term vision for yourself. Speaking of vision, take a moment to imagine the person you are becoming as you continue to practice emotional intelligence. Picture yourself a few years from now, moving through your days with greater inner stability and clarity. You wake up with a sense of connection to yourself. You handle stress with more calm. You speak honestly but kindly. You build relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. You trust yourself more, not because you think you will never make mistakes, but because you know you can learn from whatever happens. This future version of you is not a fantasy. It is the natural result of the choices you make, one day at a time. Every time you pause instead of reacting impulsively, every time you listen deeply, every time you speak to yourself with respect, every time you act in alignment with your values, you are strengthening this version of yourself. Over time, the gap between who you are now and who you want to be grows smaller and smaller. It is also important to recognize that your emotional growth benefits not only you, but everyone around you. When you become more emotionally aware and balanced, you contribute to a more understanding environment in your home, your friendships, your workplace, and your community. You become someone who can listen without rushing to judge, who can stay present during conflicts, and who can offer support without losing themselves. These qualities are deeply needed in the world. As you move beyond this audiobook, consider how you might want to continue your learning. Perhaps you will explore other books or audiobooks that deepen specific skills, such as communication, relationships, or mindfulness. Maybe you will join groups or communities where people share similar goals for personal growth. You might also choose to work with a therapist, coach, or mentor to receive more personalized guidance. There is no single correct path. What matters is that you keep nurturing your development in ways that feel right for you. Before we say goodbye, take one more slow, deep breath. As you inhale, imagine that you are inviting in self-awareness, compassion, and courage. As you exhale, imagine that you are releasing a little bit of tension, self-doubt, or harsh judgment. You do not have to transform your life all at once. You simply need to keep taking small steps in the direction of greater emotional clarity and connection. If at any point you feel discouraged or tempted to give up on this path, remember why you started. Maybe you were tired of feeling stuck in shyness or insecurity. Maybe you wanted deeper relationships. Maybe you sensed that there was a wiser, more confident version of you waiting to emerge. That intention is still inside you. It can guide you whenever you feel lost. Thank you for choosing to walk this part of your journey with these ideas and practices. Your willingness to look within, to question old patterns, and to invest time and energy in your emotional growth is something truly meaningful. Even if the world does not always see or celebrate this inner work, it is shaping the quality of your life in profound ways. If you wish to continue exploring topics like emotional intelligence, social skills, and personal growth, remember that Momentum Audiobooks offers other audiobooks and resources designed to support your development. You can keep expanding your knowledge, finding new perspectives, and strengthening the habits that help you live with more awareness, confidence, and connection. As we come to the end of this audiobook, carry with you one simple message. You are not defined by your past reactions, your moments of shyness, or your old stories about who you are. You are a changing, learning human being, capable of growth at any age and in any situation. Emotional intelligence is not something you either have or lack. It is something you cultivate, step by step, through the choices you make every day. And with each small, conscious choice, you are already becoming the person you aspire to be.